Let's dive into a business case study, but probably not one you've heard in a lecture hall. We're not talking about Silicon Valley or Wall Street today. Nope. We are analyzing the strategic mind behind one of the most successful and violent criminal enterprises in history. We're talking about Pablo Escobar. Okay, let's just start with a number. $30 billion. That was the estimated net worth of Pablo Escobar at his peak. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that figure. So, how did he get there? Well, by controlling this. 80%. 80% of the entire global cocaine market. Think about that. That's near total domination. You know, numbers like that, you'd think we were talking about a massive multinational corporation, right? So that's the real question, isn't it? How on earth did one man build a criminal empire with the stats of a corporate giant? To figure that out, we have to look at this from a totally different angle. We're going to analyze Pablo Escobar not just as a criminal mastermind, but as the CEO of a global business. An illegal one for sure, but a business that ran on principles we still see in boardrooms today. And this is where the story gets really, really interesting. Because if you can look past the violence and the crime for just a second, you see this brilliant strategic mind at work, a true business genius that was just tragically, horribly misapplied. So it just makes you wonder, right? What if? What if he had taken all that ambition, all that strategic thinking, and pointed it at the legitimate market? What could he have built? To even begin to answer that, we've got to pop the hood and see how he actually did it. We need to peel back the layers and look at his actual strategies, his business playbook. And what's kind of wild is how familiar these strategies look. I mean, take vertical integration. Escobar controlled everything, from the coca farms all the way to the street-level dealers. That's the exact same principle Tesla uses today, owning its factories and its charging network. Or how about brand domination? His name, Escobar, became the brand, recognized globally, the same kind of iconic status Apple has built. He even engineered customer loyalty, though it was a twisted version, right? A mix of fear with his plata o plomo, silver or lead policy, and social investment. It's a dark mirror to how companies today try to keep you locked into their ecosystem. So let's be really clear here. The principles behind his operation, controlling the supply chain, building a dominant brand, ensuring loyalty, these are the very same fundamentals that built some of the most successful and admired companies in the world. With that skill set, can you imagine what he could have become? He had the mind for logistics to create a global shipping empire, the branding know-how to build a luxury goods house, the disruptive vision to create a new tech conglomerate. The potential was absolutely limitless. But he didn't. His empire, as massive as it was, completely crumbled. So why? What was the fatal flaw? What was the one crucial missing ingredient in his entire business model? And here it is. This is the whole ballgame. His leadership was built on a foundation of fear, corruption, and violence. Sure, it created insane profits, but it also guaranteed instability. It was never going to last. Truly sustainable empires, the ones that leave a mark, are built on vision, on public goodwill, on creating a real, lasting legacy. You know what's fascinating, though? In a twisted way, Escobar understood this. He poured money into social programs, building housing, soccer fields for the poor. He knew the power of having the public on your side, but he used it as a tool, a shield. It was for control and protection, not out of any genuine principle. It was a strategy, not an ethic. There's a quote from our source material that just sums it all up perfectly. The talent was absolutely there. The vision, the drive, the strategic mind, all the raw ingredients of a world-class entrepreneur. But his choice to apply it all through crime, that was the fatal flaw that guaranteed his own destruction. So, what's the big takeaway here? After looking at all this, what can we actually learn from the spectacular rise and spectacular fall of this criminal CEO? Okay, so here's the bottom line. Strategic brilliance, raw ambition, the ability to corner a market, that's all just horsepower. It's like having a supercar engine. It gets you moving incredibly fast. But without an ethical steering wheel, you are destined to crash and burn. Genius alone is simply not enough. This leaves us with a pretty simple but powerful framework. First, you have to find your genius, your unique strength. Second, and this is the big one, you have to make a conscious choice to apply it ethically. Third, focus not just on profit, but on the positive impact you can have. And if you do those things, the fourth step, building a lasting legacy, will naturally follow. In the end, it really boils down to this. Your talent, your drive, your genius, that's what gets you in the game. It gets you a seat at the table. But it's your ethics, your principles, that determine whether you can actually finish the game and build something that lasts. That is the ultimate lesson from Escobar's playbook. So the question is, how will you finish yours?